Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you've all had a wonderful, wonderful day. So today's video is my birthday book haul. Yeah, I bought a lot of books, I'm not gonna lie. So some of these books were gifted to me by friends. The rest I kind of picked up and bought with birthday money, cat. So yeah, there's a lot of books I kind of had my eye on for a little while, or ones that people had recommended, and I finally just bit the bullet with my birthday money and was like, let's just buy a shit ton of books. So that's what I did. So the first thing I got is the Throne of Glass series. So Dre picked this up for me. When he asked me what I wanted, I was like, oh, I really want some books. And he was like, do you not have enough? Look at these shelves. But I was like, no, I really, really want to pick up this set. My lovely friend Nikki has been recommending it for ages, and I keep seeing people kind of talking about it or reading it. And I knew that this was one I really wanted to get to. It comes in this lovely case. I don't know whether I will keep them in the cardboard case. I'm a bit rubbish with cardboard cases. But yes, this is the first book, and it just says, meet Selenia, Sardothian, beautiful, deadly, destined for greatness. In the dark, filthy salt mines of Vendovia, an 18-year-old girl is serving a life sentence. She is a trained assassin, the best of her kind, but she made a fatal mistake. She got caught. Young Captain Westfall offers her a deal, her freedom in return for one huge sacrifice. Selenia must represent the prince in a to the death tournament, fighting the most gifted thieves and assassins in the land. Live or die, Selenia will be free. Win or lose, she is about to discover her true destiny, but will her assassin's heart be melted? I think it sounds incredible. I really enjoyed the first Sarah J. Maas book I read, which was A Court of Thorns and Roses. Spoiler alert, I am kind of struggling to get round to the second one because of the size of it. It just puts me off so much. I'm going to put this back up here. But I'm excited to eventually get to it. So next I'm going to talk about the books my lovely friend Nikki sent me. So she sent me 3, which I was super, super excited about. So the first one is The Monster Who Wasn't by T.C. Shelley. I'm so excited about these. They're incredible. Thank you so much, Nikki. But yeah, so this one says, it's a well-known fact that fairies are born from a baby's first laugh, but very few people know that all monsters come from a person's last sigh. Well, nearly all of them. This is the story of a monster who is strange indeed. He's half laugh, half sigh, and he looks just like a human boy. Disgusting, puny, most monsters whisper, good for nothing. Useful for nicking chocolate, say the gargoyles who adopt him. Exactly what I've been waiting for, thinks Thunderguts, bloodthirsty king of the ogres. Give him to me. I just thought it sounded really cute. I'm not a huge reader of middle grade, but when I saw Nikki talk about this one on her channel, I was like, I need that. I need to read that one. So yes, she sent me that, which is really exciting. And then the next one she sent me is Defy the Knight by Bridget Kemmerer. This one is a beautiful copy. It's a Waterstones exclusive, which I don't have any of, which is really exciting. But it says, in a kingdom where sickness stalks the streets and only the richest can afford a cure, King Haristan and his brother Prince Coric are forced to rule with an iron fist. Tessa Cade is a masked outlaw, I can't talk this evening, marked for death, but she likes it that way. Together with a mysterious handsome Western, she robs from the rich to help the poor, distributing medicine to those who need it most. As it becomes clear that the only way to save her people is to assassinate the king, Tessa faces a deadly mission that will take her to the dark heart of the kingdom and force her to work with the very people she intended to destroy. I think it sounds really good. Bridget Kemmerer wrote A Curse So Dark and Lonely, which I haven't got to yet. I don't know if this is a retelling or it's based on like a original story. I'm not sure. Sounds a little bit Robin Hood-y, doesn't it? But I think it sounds incredible. I'm really excited for this. And then the next one, which I'm buzzing about because it is just beautiful, is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. Look at those sprayed edges. And then the inside of the dust jacket, well, inside of the front cover is just, look at that artwork. I don't have anything like this on my shelves. So yeah, this is pretty incredible. Sorry, I got blown away there looking at the artwork and a little bit confused at the same time. So the inside has the Ballad of the Archer and the Fox on it. And that really threw me off. And I was like, is it the same book? But it is, because it has Once Upon a Broken Heart in here. So I don't know whether this is going to be like a trilogy, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. It sounds incredible though. The synopsis is great. It says, for as long as she can remember, Evangeline Fox has believed in the happily ever after, until she learns that the love of her life is about to marry another, and her dreams are shattered. Desperate to stop the wedding, I literally cannot speak this evening. Desperate to stop the wedding and heal her wounded heart, Evangeline strikes a deal with a charismatic but wicked Prince of Hearts. In exchange for his help, he asks for 3 quick kisses to be given at the time and place of his choosing. But after Evangeline's first promised kiss, she learns that bargaining with an immortal is a dangerous game, and that the Prince of Hearts wants far more from her than she pledged. He has plans for Evangeline, plans that will either end in the greatest happily ever after or the most exquisite tragedy. I am, like, unbelievably excited for this book. He's not. He's just going to fall asleep everywhere. But yes, I'm really excited. So thank you so much, Nikki, for sending me these. I want to put them on my TBR straight away, but I have lots of other books that I know I need to get to before I dive into those. But I have lots of other books left. So if you would like to go and get yourself some kind of drink and a snack, I totally recommend that. So the next one I got is the X Hex by Erin Sterling. I loved this. I've already mentioned it in my March reading wrap up. I wasn't planning on reading it this soon. I was going to hang on to it for kind of like October time, because it's like a witchy romance. But it's really good. It follows Vivian and Reese. Vivian is a witch. Reese is also a witch. And they split up in their teen years, and Vivian curses him. And when he comes back to the town, his life is in danger. I thought it was great. I will continue to read this again. It's cheesy. I liked the magical element. I recommend it if you like a light-hearted romance and aren't going to take it too seriously. I highly recommend. So there's that one. Now, all the other ones I haven't read yet. So let's talk about this one. The next one is A Girl Called Shameless by Laura Stephen. So Laura Stephen wrote... oh my goodness, what's it called? It's Okay to Not Be Okay? I feel like that's not what it's called. Sorry, Dre's playing a game upstairs, so if you can hear him shouting or swearing, I apologise in advance. Oh, for goodness sake, it's on the back of the book, isn't it? What a div. The exact opposite of Okay. So I loved that first book. Nikki had been talking about that book so much that last year I was like, right, okay, I need to pick it up and read it. And I loved it. I couldn't put it down. It was funny. It was sad. It was just incredible. So this is the second book, and it had been on my kind of wish list on Amazon for a long time. So I picked it up. And it just says, it's been 2 months since 18-year-old Izzy O'Neill was slut-shamed in a national scandal. As well as coming to terms with the fact thousands of people have seen her fufa, Izzy is juggling high school, writing a screenplay, and figuring out what to do next with her life. When another girl's nude photos are leaked, Izzy and the Bitches Bite Back team decide to take action. They're taking the fight all the way to the top and won't let anyone bring them down. It's time for the shaming to stop. Yeah, the first one was incredible. There's no spoilers here. Izzy sent a nudie photo to a boy, and unfortunately it got out. And it's kind of about her dealing with that and coming to terms with it and overcoming it all. And yeah, it was a great book. So I am excited to read book 2. Next up, I bought I believe it is called the Kiss Quotient series, I think. But there are 3 books by Helen Huang. I hope I'm not butchering that. But the first one is the Kiss Quotient. And it says, it's high time for Stella Lane to settle down and find a husband. Or so her mother tells her. This is no easy task for a wealthy, successful woman like Stella, who also happens to have Asperger's. Analysing data is easy, handling the awkwardness of one-on-one dates is hard. To overcome her lack of dating experience, Stella decides to hire a male escort to teach her how to be a good girlfriend. Faced with mounting bills, Michael decides to use his good looks and charms to make extra cash on the side. He has a very firm no repeat customer policy, but he's tempted to bend that rule when Stella approaches him with an unconventional proposal. The more time they spend together, the harder Michael falls for this disarming woman with a beautiful mind, and Stella discovers that love defies logic. So yeah, I thought it sounded great. I've heard really, really good things about it. One of my favourite booktubers, Noelle Gallagher, has spoken about this one a lot. I believe she has read the other two as well, but I know that she rates the Kiss Quotient higher than these two, so I'll be intrigued to kind of figure out whether I feel the same or whether I enjoy one of the others more. So the next one is the Bride Test, and it says, Kai? Oh, I hate names in books. I'm terrible at it. Kai Dieppe has no feelings. Well, not big important emotions like grief and love. He thinks he's defective. Dear, shall I just give up and start another day? His family knows better, that his autism means he just processes emotions differently. When he steadfastly refuses to consider a relationship, his mother takes matters into her own hands and returns to Vietnam to find him the perfect bride. As a mixed-race girl living in the slums of Ho Chi Minh, Esme Tran has always felt out of place. So when the opportunity arises to go to America and meet a potential husband, she can't turn it down. This could be the break her family needs. Seducing Kai, however, doesn't quite go as planned. Esme's lessons in love seem to be working, but only on herself. She's hopelessly smitten with a man who's convinced he can never return her affection. As Esme's time in the United States dwindles, will Kai let his head catch up with his heart? Can he find the strength to let go and let love in? And then finally, the heart principle. When violinist Anna Sun accidentally achieves career success with a viral YouTube video, she finds herself overwhelmed trying to live up to it. And when her boyfriend of 5 years announces that he wants an open relationship, a hurt and angry Anna decides to embark on a string of one-night stands. The more unacceptable men, the better. Enter tattooed motorcycle-riding Quan Dieppe. Their first attempt at a one-night stand fails, as does their second and their third, because being with Quan is about more than sex. But when tragedy strikes Anna's family, she takes on a role that threatens to destroy her. Now, Anna and Quan have to fight for their chance at love, but to do that, they also have to fight for themselves. So, yeah, I think they've got a really interesting dynamic in each of the books. So I am excited to read those and kind of see how they take on different aspects of those stories. So I think they sound really, really good. Next up, I picked up this incredibly big book. I have no idea what I've done. It's the House of Earth and Blood book. It's the first one. And I picked this one up because I went on a bit of a Sarah J. Maas spree, as you can see by the set behind me. And I also picked up the ACOTAR series recently. So I knew I had to pick up this one. But I won't get to this one for a while, I don't think, because the size of it is just too intimidating. But it sounds really good. I'm really intrigued by it. BookTube seems to love it, so I'm sure I will as well. It just says, Bryce Quinlan used to light up Crescent City, partying all night in the clubs where the strict classes of angel, shifter, human and fae merge into a sea of beautiful bodies. And then a demon murdered her closest friends. 2 years later, when the supposed killer is behind bars, but the crimes start up again, the city's leaders command Bryce to investigate. They'll assign an enslaved fallen angel, hunt Athalar, to make sure she does. But as Bryce fights to uncover the truth and resist her attraction to the brooding angel who shadows her every step, she finds herself following a trail that leads deep into her own dark past. So, yes, it sounds incredible, but I am hugely intimidated by its size. Right, the last one that's a little bit fantasy-based, because I realised when I actually looked at this list in front of me, that very few of them are actually fantasy. Most of them are contemporary romance, which I'm finding a lot of comfort in lately. So yes, the last one I picked up was Winter Keep by Kristen Shaw. It's the final book in the Graceling series. I believe it's the final book, unless she's bringing out another one. I won't read you the back because obviously it will give away spoilers from the other books. But yes, I picked up Winter Keep. So there's that. But yes, the rest are all contemporary romance. And I got all of these, apart from this one, in the supermarkets like Tesco, Sainsbury's, Asda. They all had kind of an offer on, so you could get 2 books for £8, which I believe is still going on in Tesco if you live in the UK. So I'll get to those in a moment. But this one I picked up recently. I did mention it in my April reading TBR. It's The Invisible Husband of Frick Island by Colleen Oakley. I haven't started this one yet. I need to. Look at the face. He's so cute. But basically it is about a lady called Piper whose husband goes out on a fishing boat and doesn't come back, so he is presumed dead, and she continues to talk to him and pretend that he is still there. So the entire town do the same thing, and then a journalist arrives to make a story, and he thinks that this story is going to be his big break. But yes, we're not entirely sure what happens. I think it sounds incredible, if I'm honest. This one was actually quite expensive. I don't think you can actually get it in the UK because it's just USA and Canada on the back. So it did cost me a lot more for a second-hand paperback than I would normally spend. It was like £11, which hurt my heart to spend on a second-hand paperback. But it is what it is. I really wanted to read it. I'd seen Noelle talk about it. And yeah, I needed to have it. So here it is. And it's floppy, which we love. We love a floppy paperback. So right, let's get on to the contemporaries. So I have a couple of repeat offender authors, Taylor Jenkins Reid. So I picked up Maybe in Another Life and One True Loves. I have heard really great things about One True Loves. Not so much about Maybe in Another Life, but I believe this is newer out than this one. But I really enjoyed Daisy Jones and the Six. I did try and pick up a copy of the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, but I could not find it anywhere. And even Amazon said it was sold out, which is really bizarre. So I need to have another look at some point. I have spent all of my birthday money now on books and clothes, which possibly didn't need any of it, but it's your birthday. You've got to treat yourself. So I will have to resort or refer back to my book point system to let me know if at some point I can purchase books again. But One True Love sounds incredible. I'm really excited to read it. It just says, high school sweethearts Emma and Jessie moved far away from home together, travelling the world, chasing every adventure, building a life of their own. 364 days after their wedding, Jessie is on a helicopter that suddenly goes missing mid-flight, and suddenly he's gone. Years later, Emma is back in her hometown. She's grieved, she's learning to live again, she's fallen in love. At a family dinner one autumn evening, she receives a phone call from Jessie. With a fiancé and a husband, heartbreak lies ahead. But is there such a thing as one true love? So, yeah, it sounds incredibly sad. I feel like I'll cry. But I'm excited. And then this one I picked up on a bit of a whim. The back of it didn't grab me as much as One True Loves did, but I thought we'll pick it up and give it a go anyway. It just says, at 29, Hannah has no home, no career, and no idea what she wants to do with her life. After years of different cities and jobs, she heads back to Los Angeles for another fresh start, this time with the help of her best friend, Gabby. They celebrate her homecoming with old friends at a local bar, and just after midnight, Gabby asks if Hannah's ready to go. Moments later, her high school boyfriend, Ethan, offers to give her a ride later if she wants to stay. Hannah hesitates. Alternating between two parallel universes, radically different paths unfold for Hannah and the people around her. Is anything simply destined to be? Do soulmates truly exist? Hannah believes so, and in both worlds she's found him. I thought it sounded interesting. It just didn't grab me as much as One True Loves did. But nonetheless, I'm excited about all of these books. Like, if I could consume them all really quickly, I would. But, you know. Right, next up, I have 2 Colleen Hoover books. I did pick up, what's it called? It Ends With Us recently, which everyone has been talking about in the book community. And when I saw these 2 in Tesco, I was like, they're coming home with me. So I have Ugly Love and Verity. Verity is a thriller romance, I believe. Lowen Ashley is a struggling writer on the brink of a financial ruin when she accepts the job offer of a lifetime. Jeremy Crawford, husband of best-selling author Verity Crawford, has hired Lowen to complete the remaining books in a successful series his injured wife is unable to finish. Lowen arrives at the Crawford home ready to sort through years of Verity's notes and outlines, hoping to find enough material to get her started. What Lowen doesn't expect to uncover in the chaotic office is an unfinished autobiography Verity never intended anyone to read. Page after page of bone-chilling admissions, including Verity's recollection of the night her family was forever altered. Lowen decides to keep the manuscript hidden from Jeremy, knowing its contents could devastate the already grieving father. But as Lowen's feelings for Jeremy begin to intensify, she recognizes all the ways she could benefit if he were to read his wife's words. After all, no matter how devoted Jeremy is to his injured wife, a truth this horrifying would make it impossible for him to continue loving her. Yeah, I'm sold. I'm there. I've never read any of Colleen Hoover, but I have heard really great things. People tell me they kind of get hooked on her and then read quite a few books by her and then kind of give up at the same time. Like, they read loads, give up for a bit, and then come back to her. But yeah, then this one I picked up was where is it? It's not exactly love at first sight for Tate Collins when she meets the tormented and secretive Miles Archer. They wouldn't even go so far as to consider themselves friends. The only thing Tate and Miles have in common is a mutual physical attraction that can't be denied. Once their desires are out in the open, they realize they might have stumbled on the perfect no-strings arrangement. He isn't looking for love, and she doesn't have time for it, so that just leaves the sex. What they've got could be surprisingly satisfying as long as Tate can stick to the 2 rules Miles has for her. Never ask about the past and don't expect a future. They think they can handle it, but everything is different when real emotions start to change the equation. Hearts get infiltrated, promises get broken, rules get shattered, and love gets ugly. Sold. I'm in. Right, the next 2, I kind of wasn't sure about when I picked them up. Because it was the 2 for £8 deal, I grabbed them and thought, we'll suffer the consequences later if I don't think they're any good. So I picked up The Paris Love Connection, which I've heard a few things about, by Lorraine Brown. Hannah and Si are in love, and on the same track, that is, until their train divides on the way to a wedding. Next morning, Hannah wakes up in Paris and realises that her boyfriend and her ticket are 300 miles away in Amsterdam. But then Hannah meets Leo on the station platform, and he's everything Si isn't. Spending the day with him in Paris forces Hannah to question how well she really knows herself, and whether sometimes you need to go in the wrong direction to find everything you've been looking for. I thought it sounded good. I just wasn't sure when I picked it up, but I think it sounds good. And then this one was really a whim. Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. But it's One Night on the Island by Josie Silver. Where are we? Cleo writes about love stories every day. She just isn't living one of her own. When the editor of her dating column asks her to marry herself on a remote Irish island, a sensational piece to mark Cleo's 30th birthday, Cleo agrees. She's alone but not lonely, right? She can handle a solo adventure. Cleo arrives at her luxury cabin to find a tall, dark, stubborn American who insists it's actually his. Mac refuses to leave, and Cleo won't budge either. With a storm fast approaching, they reluctantly hunker down together. It's just one night, after all. So yeah, the one I originally saw in Tesco was One Day in December, still by Josie Silver. but it wasn't there when I then went back, so I picked this one up. So there is that. And then we are down to the last 2 books. So the last one I picked up in Tesco is The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. Loads of people have been talking about this. I think it's a real kind of hit or miss book. But Catalina Martin desperately needs a date to her sister's wedding. We all love a like fake date trope, don't we? Especially when her little white lie about her American boyfriend has spiraled out of control. Now everyone she knows, including her ex-boyfriend and his fiancée, will be there. She only has 4 weeks to find someone willing to cross the Atlantic for her and aid in her deception. New York City to Spain is no short flight, and her family won't be easy to fool. But even then, when Aaron Blackford, the 6'4", blue-eyed pain in the arse, offers to step in, she's not tempted even for a second. Never has there been a more aggravating, blood-boiling, and insufferable man. But Catalina is desperate, and as the wedding gets closer, the more desirable an option Aaron Blackford becomes. I think it sounds great, so fingers crossed it is. And then finally, this one I've heard a lot of things about, and I think it's going to break my heart. But it is Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. So this is the final book in my birthday book haul. I hope you guys got snacks, because I feel like you've been sat here for a long time. But it says, the heart may hide, but it never forgets. Then, at 13, you were my first real friend. At 15, you were my first love. At 18, you were my everything. We were about to take on the world together until one mistake shattered our future. Now, I'm about to marry a safe man who will never touch my heart, whose loss would never break me. He doesn't really need me, and that's how I like it, until one day I turned around in a coffee shop and there you were. It's been 11 years and nothing has changed. I don't know how to forgive you, and worse, I don't know if I can resist you. It just sounds incredible. They all sound really good, but there's a few in this that I'm like, oh, I just can't wait. He can't wait either. Can you? Hello. He's been a bit grumpy lately. I'm not really sure why. But yeah, he can be grumpy. He's a temperamental man. Come say hi. You're gonna get grumpy, aren't you? Look, say hello. No. He's like, absolutely not. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this book haul. I'm sorry there were so many. I didn't realise quite how many there were until I actually started going through them. But yeah, I really hope you thought some of these books sounded interesting. If you have read any of them, then let me know your thoughts without spoilers in the comment section down below. And yeah, I'll let you know when I get round to finally reading some of them. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!